Hi, this presentation is to show us what history is going to look like for Year 11 this year. So there are some changes that have taken place to make up for the time that we lost when schools were closed. Traditionally, there are 4 units to the History GCSE. There are 3 exams. Units 1, 2 and 3 are written exams. Unit 4 is our non-exam assessment, or our coursework, if you like, that's sat under controlled assessment conditions. And there are no changes to that unit. We still have to do the NEA, the coursework, but we only now have to do 2 exams rather than 3. The rationale behind this is that a lot of schools have already completed the NEA. We did some preparatory work for it over lockdown, and we're starting it at the moment. Okay, we're starting the write-up now. Also, because the skills used when pupils complete the NEA, it's all about working as a historian and source analysis and evaluation. Those are really important skills that the pupils need to develop in order to study history at AS and A2 levels, at A level. So it really would have disadvantaged them to take that out. So the idea is they sit 2 exams and still complete the NEA. So this is what Year 11 will look like. First of all, at the moment, as I said, we are completing our NEA. This is looking at, the first part is looking at social conditions in Jack the Ripper's London. The second part of that then is to have a look at source materials on the police investigation and other reasons why Jack the Ripper was never caught, and to really look at interpretations to see which one is correct, which one is more valid, which is more reliable, and also how historians have formed these interpretations of that event as well. We're planning on completing that by the end of November. Then our 2 exams that we are going to do out of the choice of 3 are, the first one, Unit 1, is Depression, War and Recovery. That exam was one that current Year 11 were supposed to sit in the summer of 2020. Obviously, the exams didn't take place. But the good thing for us is that pupils basically are ready. We have already studied it. We've practiced a lot of exam questions in it, and we've still got plenty of time to revise it. The second exam that will be sat will be the USA, a Nation of Contrasts. We studied that unit in Year 9, so that one is also complete, but obviously a lot of revision will need to take place. Okay, so the first thing, as I said, was the NEA, which is made up of 2 parts. It's 2 essays, Part A and Part B. I've set an internal deadline for that for the 30th of November. That will be done during class time. There's no extra homework unless pupils want to do extra research on that one. There is no exam on this either, so pupils will not need to revise this at all. They'll just need to work hard on that coursework up until that deadline date. It doesn't get sent off to the WJEC until early spring, but we set that internal deadline to make sure that it is complete, to give people a chance if they've been off school or anything like that to catch up. And it also means that it's done and dusted. We can put it to one side and concentrate then on revision and exam technique after that date. So the first exam that will be sat, the WJEC have given us a provisional exam date for Wednesday, the 9th of June 2021. So this is on Depression, War and Recovery in England and Wales from 1930 to 1951. So it's looking at before, during and after World War II, and the effects on Britain. So we look at the causes of the Depression and life during the Depression. We look at the reasons Britain went to war, what it was like for people living in Britain during wartime, how they kept up morale. We also looked then at life straight after the war and then rebuilding the country after 1945, and the setting up of the NHS and those reforms that came afterwards. So that's a 1-hour exam, okay, on Wednesday the 9th of June. The WJEC haven't confirmed what percentage of the qualification that exam will be. It used to be 25% for Unit 1, 25% for Unit 2, 30% for Unit 3, and 20% for the NEA. However, because you can take a combination of those exams, which are of different percentages, I'm not quite sure yet how they're going to work that out. I would have thought Unit 1 and Unit 2 would be given equal weighting, so I can confirm that with you when we get confirmation from the WJEC. The second exam that will be sat is another 1 hour exam a week after Unit 1. So this will be on Wednesday, the 16th of June 2021, and this is on USA, A Nation of Contrasts. So it's looking at problems in American society, all the contrasts within society between 1910 and 1929. We look at immigration, and the Red Scare, fear of communism. We look at religious fundamentalism. We look at segregation and racism and the activities of the KKK. We also look at crime and corruption. Then we look at economic growth in America, and then economic decline as well from 1929 with the Wall Street crash. We also look at popular entertainment such as cinema and the emergence of movie stars, dances like the Charleston, and we look at the changing role of women in society, in culture, and politically as well. Okay, there are useful websites to look at for any revision purposes. As I said, all of this content has already been covered. So there's, apart from the work we do for the NEA, there's no new content for Year 11, which is really good. It gives us a lot more time then to revise. On the WJEC website, if you look at GCSE history and click on resources, there are articles and resources and papers there to have a look at, which I've circled, looking at challenges in America and also depression, war and recovery. The BBC Bite-Size website is really useful. These are the two, if you type WJEC history in there, these are the two units that pupils will need to revise. They're all divided up into the sections that we use in school as well. And if they click on each one, there's notes on them, videos and little tests, little quizzes they can use to test their knowledge as well. So that one is a really, really useful website that I definitely recommend. There are also revision guides and books that you can purchase. All of these are available on Amazon. The one on the left, the WJEC History Revision, my revision notes is good. It's colour coded. I do give pupils some photocopies of chapters of that anyway, so it's not essential, but if pupils wanted their own and colour coded, that's the one I would recommend. The other two books there are textbooks, so they're in a lot more depth. So they would have exam technique in them as well, but it's a lot more depth. I would only buy those really if pupils are interested in extra reading around it, around the topics that we're doing. As I said, most of the stuff we provide ready in school. But if you wanted some extra reading, those are the ones I'd recommend. If you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in contact with me at thomasv@pontyhigh.co.uk. Thank you.